like the busiest woman in Hollywood.
No, not even close, but thank you. Not even close. But yeah, I like to stay busy.
Yeah, I know, and the new film Bound is coming to home viewers. It's going to be streaming. Tell me a little bit about your character Bella in this.
So, Bella is she's a young adult going through young adult things, and she's had a hard life up until this point. She has a hard time around people. She doesn't really quite know herself, or the only thing she knows is that she loves to do metal art and that she loves animals. And everything else she's still figuring out. So in the movie, she just kind of goes on. It's a coming of age story for her, where she's fighting her family and fighting herself and the world around her, and like learning to forgive and move forward.
Well, she's dealing with some big obstructions in her life, and being an introvert. First of all, playing an introvert like Bella, is that a tough role?
I think you take like pieces of yourself. Wait, at least for me, like when I'm doing it, I'll take like little pieces of myself, and there is like a part of me that relates to that, you know. So it's not easy. I mean, you're living in kind of a different headspace than like me, the person, normally lives in. But it is still a kind of a piece of me.
And when you're done with a character like Bella or like Megan in Guns of Eden,
Yeah.
do you take a piece of them with you? I mean, do you carry that with you for a while or forever?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, so far for me, with these characters, yeah, I think they do still kind of live in you a little bit. Just like any experience in your life kind of stays with you and lives with you, for however long you let it. It's kind of like that.
Does each character you play require a new set of tools? I mean, let's take Bella for example. She's an introvert.
Mhm.
She's not an outgoing, kind of
Yeah.
person. She's not, grabbing a gun and saying let's get them.
Yeah.
So I would think that would be a different kind of acting than someone like Megan.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like, and with Guns of Eden, it was like it was very physical. So the set of tools for Megan was, very much like my body, like new things with my body that we're going to use to express this character. And it's similar with Bella, but a lot of it is internalized. So, it is reflected in the physical, but most of it is like a change of how I deal with the world around me. So me, the normal person's like, I'm gonna make eye contact and talk to you because I like am friends, we respect each other, we're friends, we're hanging out. And it's kind of relearning how someone, or seeing how someone else might see it. Someone that is scared of the world around them, someone that is scared to face, any kind of challenge, really, like any kind of conversation or new person or new interaction, and how they see themselves too in that conversation. So with Bella, she's really, really bad at eye contact. She's
Just did
horrible
that
at
to me
it.
right now. You just kind of.
Yeah, she's just like this,
Yeah.
and she talks to people. So it's a lot more nuanced, I would say, than a character like Megan, who
Mhm.
is just herself. She's super confident, willing to do whatever it takes to protect the people around her, versus Bella, who is willing to, but she's also still kind of growing into that. She's not quite there yet.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the juxtaposition between these two characters that you played because they're totally on the other side of the spectrum from each other.
yeah,
Bella, I
yeah.
think, is has been submissive for a long time, where Megan isn't at all, and she's the first one to get up and go. And I think Bella had to reach her limit, the end of the rope, to kind of get
Yeah.
to that point where she's in charge.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I guess, throughout like Guns of Eden, Megan is working to find who the actual emotions in her, because so long she's just been doing, what she's supposed to do. She's been doing her job, what her parents told her to do, all of this, and then she has to find the vulnerability, versus Bella, who only has vulnerability and needs to find her strength. So they are kind of like equal opposites. You're right.
How deep do you go into a character's psyche before you feel comfortable in putting on their skin?
I get pretty connected. I wouldn't say I know like the director of Bound, I'm not a method actor. Like I know people that are method actors. I kind of go in and out, but I think it always kind of stays with me when I'm on set, when we're filming the project, until I can let it go. So, he definitely says things about, how it kind of stays with me in that time, even though like I'll come out of a take and like talk to people, and it still kind of does, lay in there. So like whenever you're getting like close to playing a character, at least for me, like it's living in me most of the time at that point. And it started to become a fusion between like me and that character. So it's just like I can go in and out of it. I think that's kind of what happens with me for the most part.
As you take on roles, do you first look at the similarities between you and the character, or do you look at the differences and start to breathe in and out that?
I would definitely say the similarities first. Yeah, the similarities first. I had an acting teacher at one point, and he had a really great note, like find the love. I find where I love the character, and where we might have similar loves too. So we can kind of blend together in that way. And then the differences at that point are just, secondary, because we're all people. I mean, a lot of us are actually quite similar, like at our core. And then like the physical differences, like Bella has a huge physical difference to like the way, I look or I dress or anything. And it was on purpose. This is like a girl that's trying to hide all of it and doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be the center of attention. Not saying I like dress to be the center of attention, but I dress to look like objectively okay, like, in a setting. I dress to look my best, usually.
And Bella dresses to kind of blend in.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that she was using muted colors and things like that in this, because she was part of the furniture at one point,
yeah.
And that's great directing.
Yeah. It was definitely, it was really, really, really important for this character to be not, early on, like the inspiration for the fit of her clothes was, I had heard an interview with Billie Eilish talking about the way she dressed and how it shouldn't be about her body, it should be about her. And I was like, that it resonated with me for this character. So though like the styles are super different, the fits are similar, where it's not to show the body, it's not to show your sexuality, it's not any of that. She's just here. And what she does is, she makes metal art. So the best thing about her to her is what she can make, not like what she looks like.
Do you draw from your background? Do you draw from other sources to play characters, or is it all just you?
I really like to use the imagination. So it's me plus imagination. I found that drawing from specific events in my life, the well goes dry, if you know what I mean. Like, it's just like, okay, like I hurt myself one time thinking about that thing that scarred me, and then I go numb to it, versus the openness of playing with the imagination and saying like, what if I was going through this right now? Yeah. Which is like a little bit more like a Stella Adler sort of thing. I like to protect myself as much as possible by using the imagination.
But when you're on set and you're acting, you're open. You're completely open to the pain and the trauma that your characters are going through. Yeah,
it was that was my favorite acting teacher that I've ever had. He's a legend. His name is Anthony Abeson. He's great. New York-based guy. But I asked him one time, like, how do I not get hurt? Because I know I'm a very sensitive person in general. And I know that I want to, as an artist, take it to those places, where it's relatable to people actually going through this stuff, and that can be harmful to you. So I asked him, like, how do you protect yourself? And he said, as long as you hold on to like something that's not real.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, obviously. He had a much more profound way of saying it, but he's like, something, to cling on to bring yourself out of it. And that to me became perfect, because then I can go to these places, because I do want to go to those places. That's how we make art. But I also want to be able to pull myself out and not spiral out of control because my body thinks something's happening to it.
When you're not America's favorite actress, are you in classes? Are you taking classes over and over again to hone the talent?
Yeah, I still do classes. I do with my friend right now. He's got a great studio. His name is David Wenzel, and he's awesome. He's also a New York-based guy. And then I do like a ton of auditions, and then just do like scene work. Sometimes I'll like take stuff and I'll just do scene work for practice. Yeah, it's like, that's kind of, and then obviously like I have my life outside of it. So,
well, yeah,
playing and cooking and playing with animals and, hiking and all that fun stuff.
But auditioning has changed over the years. I mean, it's tape and ship now, and mostly. I mean, do you miss the days of going in and talking with a casting director or the director and, getting?
So I never had that experience, because I started professionally like a year before COVID. Wow. And for the first year, it was like 5 years ago I started. So I've never known that really. Like, I mean, there have been less than 10 times that I've gone in physically. The rest of it has all been self-tapes.
Really?
Because,
and doesn't that kind of, screw up chemistry tests and things like that? If you're not in a room.
The inside joke right there.
Yeah.
I don't know, so far as I feel like you can do a chemistry test. I think it's always going to be better in person. But I think for a lot of these auditions where you're not having to do chemistry tests, it's great because we can tape from wherever. And I really like it for film specifically, because you get to see the little nuances of someone's performance, the way, as long as they're shooting it okay, like the way that you're going to shoot it. So you see how they look on camera versus in person, because the looks are different too. The way people look on camera sometimes is like so different, and the way their performance is portrayed on camera. So I think there's a benefit to it. It definitely like has saturated the market though. So like everyone can send in tapes, so they're looking at a lot more people. But I think overall it's nice, because like you don't have to like do only one take. You can do, oh, I messed up the line, I didn't know it yet. Can do it again.
Is there a film genre that you've not done that you want to do?
Yeah, we talked about that. I still haven't done comedy. Well, I haven't done like actual, like Guns of Eden is funny, but it's an action first and then like comedic second or third, like it's not just a comedy. And I think it would be really fun, especially like after doing some of these like kind of dark roles like Bound, to be able to walk on set and be like, whoa, I'm good. Like everything's great. So,
well, because you're naturally funny.
Yeah, it's like, that's a newer discovery for me. I know I'm like sassy. I've always known I was like sassy and stuff, but actually,
we used to say brassy.
Yeah. But like actually comedic, I wasn't aware of at all until Guns of Eden. And then I was like, oh, it's like dry, and it's situational. It's not stand-up comedy funny, but it's definitely like a situational thing. I can see it.
Something romantic where the lead sweeps you off your feet in some romantic location, and then you fall in love with somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Like it's funny because Jennifer Aniston, I think the first person that told her she was funny was that guy, Anthony Abeson, because he was her teacher back in the day. And before that, she had no idea. And he also had said at one point that I had a comedic element. I was like, because I normally get put into doing like these super emotional, intense, because like I'll do it, like I'll go there. So people are like, perfect, go. But he was like one of the first people to be like, yeah, you're actually very comedic. But I guess it's like a dry thing. I just didn't realize that it was actually in the craft I was funny. I thought just with my friends being mildly inappropriate. I was funny.
Well, I think you have a little Lucy in you that needs to,
Yeah.
get a pie in your face or something, and because
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Lucy. I thought you meant Lucy from the film. Lucy, like I Love Lucy.
yeah,
Oh, that's such a compliment. Thank you.
because I think honestly, I most comedians or comic actors can do dramatic parts, but not
Mhm.
every dramatic actor can do a comic part. It's
I
a
agree.
muscle.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Yeah, you just did that. Look at that. It's so sad. Here, put that over there. Put that over there.
And how important is you working with your scene partners too? I mean,
Yeah.
be a major concern.
It's a huge, it's not a given that your scene partner is going to be there with you. But it's a huge gift if they are.
Yeah.
And it will elevate, I was doing scenes with I did scenes with the whole cast in Bound specifically, but there are some really hard scenes. Like I have a really hard scene with Jessica Pimentel, and she was really, really giving actually, which she didn't have to be. And she was just right here with me. She was going through the journey with me, and that was really cool. The guy that plays my stepdad, Bryant, also he matches every time, and he's just like, woo, he's a lot. I mean,
he's not a likable character, your stepfather in Bound, is
so, you know what I found out? There are some people that like this character, and it's usually men that have control issues that really like this character. And they don't realize it because they're like, why does everyone hate him? And then I started hearing it enough from, and it was always a guy. And then I was like, but it's not every guy, because like my boyfriend, my best friend, they hate this guy. They're like, he's a horrible person. But I noticed they're like men with control issues that really, because they relate to it. They're like, oh, I just want to help. I just want to help. I just want to help, which is the character's thing.
Yeah. But I think that's a psychological ploy that they use, to keep a woman in control. 100%. I'm only helping you, honey. That's
exactly
it. And I think he was just evil.
Yeah, I mean, the demographic is not the majority of people that like the character, but it's because Brian did such a good job with it.
He is a really, really tight actor. I mean, wow.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He's very intense.
And
which is what you want.
I believe that performance,
Oh, yeah.
Critic, and I watched the movie. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
The movie, and I just was like, wow, where'd they find this guy? He's, and I looked up his credits, and he's got, credits a mile long and done a lot of theater work. So it shows.
Yeah. He's so special. He was so special. And he works all the time. He's just he's actually a really, really sweet guy. It's actually both those guys, the guy, Josh, that plays Donnie, and then Brian that plays Gordy. They're like really, really, really nice. Like,
well, that's acting.
Like, Donnie especially, like, doesn't really get, he's not torn the way Gordy is, where Gordy's like, I want to be good. Like, Donnie's just like, I'm just here. Like, yeah. But Josh is like the nicest person I've ever met in my life.
Do you remain in touch with your cast a lot, or is it just very rare that you actually build friendships with them?
I would say it's actually pretty rare that, like, a real friendship. I mean, I consider friendship a little bit different. So like we stay in touch, yes. Yeah. But like as in someone that we hang out all the time, no. Like even, I mean, from Guns of Eden too, like I made some great friends like in the cast and the crew and stuff, but we live in different states. I mean, not different states, they live upstate. And I never see them. So we're in touch and we do like, care about each other, but I haven't ever like made a best friend working on a project, especially because it's just so emotional.
Yeah. How much downtime do you need between projects? I mean, I think you would need to detox from a character, if I could use that word, and then but there are actors that just go from thing to thing and never rest, it seems.
Yeah, I say it depends on the character. Bella was a little bit hard to shake. Bella was, I needed a few months after Bella to kind of just like expel the demons, But like Guns of Eden was more of a physical thing, I think it's more of a preference with that kind of stuff. If it's something like Bella, I need the downtime.
Yeah.
If it's something like Guns of Eden, I would like a little downtime to be able to spend time with like my friends and family and like feel like a normal person again before I go into being another person.
And heal the bruises that you got.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the rolled ankles and the bruises and the scratches and.
Thanks for joining us for Screen Chatter. If you'd like to follow us online, visit us at screenchatter.com. You can check out our many interviews, and you could also check out my reviews. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, thanks for joining us. I'm Tony Toscano, and we'll see you next week right here for another Screen Chatter.